If you're a compliance professional, then Compliance Man Chooses the Target is here to help you figure out what to focus on and how within your organization. Join your host, Tim Khasanov-Batirov, the Compliance Man, for 3 minutes of condensed compliance awesomeness.
Hello, everyone. This is Tom Fox, back for another episode of Compliance Man Chooses the Target with Tim Khasanov-Batirov. Today, we're going to look at teamwork in the compliance function, and Tim is going to help us understand what this means really in the compliance function in an emerging market. So, Tim, first of all, who is your compliance team?
That's a good question, Tom. So while the answer on this question might sound pretty straightforward when we refer to organizational chart, the answer is not that obvious when we talk about the whole organization. Do you have supporters of compliance movements among top managers? Do middle management and junior staff help you in promotion ethics in the organization? Do you have influencers among respected middle-level managers in your compliance team now? Who should be in your compliance dream team? So if you have answers on these questions, it is much easier, based on my experience, to plan efforts and evaluate rate of success of your ethics efforts in each department. So based what I have seen, even single individual, a single manager who has business function in the organization can block or in contrary stimulate efficient collaboration between all his subordinates and compliance department.
So, Tim, one of the things that is a challenge, I think, in any compliance function, in any corporation, literally anywhere across the globe, is the various hierarchical levels. In the United States, we call that silos, that there's a compliance silo, there's a legal silo, there's a finance silo, there's a sales silo, there's an HR silo. There are lots of different cycles. So how do you suggest engagement from personnel in these various silos or the hierarchical levels?
From my perspective, it is essential to raise awareness and engage in respective ways personnel from all levels. So there are at least two reasons to do that. The first one is that personnel tend to raise in the organization, so your efforts in engagement, each individual will be bringing positive impact on each stage of his or her career. The second reason is that managers, primarily at the senior level of course, from time to time are assigned with new areas of responsibility. Thus, if such a senior manager is your compliance ambassador, so to say, he or she will expand or strengthen compliance philosophy at his new area of responsibility as well.
So let's flip the book over and look at something that I think every compliance practitioner needs to understand is why might not these teamworks or these collaborations work well?
Yes, sometimes it happens, unfortunately. And if we are talking about internal collaboration within the compliance department, I would name probably 3 killers of teamwork within compliance department. The first one would be absence of goals based on key performance indicators for each individual. I mean, the case when the person does not know what will be the indicators for evaluation of his efforts. So what is expected from him? What is specifically expected from him? So if a person doesn't know exactly what the manager or the compliance officer is expecting from him, he won't be effective. He won't be collaborative. That's my experience. Another killer of the teamwork within compliance department would probably duplication of functions among compliance folks. So if you have a big compliance team, there's a chance that some people are doing the same job, the same work, or sometimes you have a person in the fields in some country overseas, he's doing something, and you have the person in the corporate, in the headquarters, who might do the same or with regard to that particular region, and sometimes it's not effective and both individuals aren't happy. So that also prevents good teamwork. Another killer, I would think, would be absence of devotion to ethics and compliance within the team. We know that we have lawyers mostly in compliance teams. Sometimes they're really devoted to that work. Sometimes they just, shifted the career to compliance, but not really devoted or inspired by this job. In this case, I think it's also kills devotion and enthusiasm within the compliance department. So I would think that would be the three main killers of teamwork in the compliance department.
Tim, it strikes me that each one of those killers you just went through, that's really the responsibility of the chief compliance officer. The chief compliance officer needs to set key performance indicators or KPIs. The chief compliance officer needs to assure that there's not duplication of function, both in the corporate office and out in field offices. And finally, the chief compliance officer needs to be assured that anyone who is transferred to his function is truly committed to compliance. Do you see that as accurate, or do you have a different view?
I would fully agree with you, Tom. That's the responsibility of chief compliance officer to ensure that the teamwork is there.
So, Tim, this has been another fascinating exploration from Compliance Man. We've been looking today at the issue of teamwork. I hope you'll join us again for what Compliance Man may choose for the next target.
Thanks for joining us for this episode of Compliance Man Chooses the Target. Help us get the word out by rating and leaving a review.